All right, so I got my coach's response to my check-in from this morning. He agrees that the rate of loss is slowing down a bit. He talks about looking at kind of the day-to-day average because you can have a high day, you can have a low day, but you really want to look at averages. We're aiming to be in that pound to pound and a half per week rate right now if we want to get where we want to be by September in order to make a decision on what we're going to do. If we're going to push for a show at the end of the year or if we're going to build and go for like March. So he took away like 10 grams of carbs, kept everything the same to see if that was enough to inch things up a bit. I had sent him my food logs even though he didn't require it, and he's like, looks like you're doing pretty well at getting your veggies and your fruit. My steps, I got my minimum 10,000 a day. He said keep my CrossFit sessions to 2 per week. If the changes in food don't adjust enough, then we may increase activity. I had mentioned to him and this is why, like, the importance of like telling your coach everything you think might be relevant or even not relevant, just so that like let them decide what's important. So I let him know that like the 2 days I went to CrossFit last week, that they were a little bit different programming than normal. We had 2 strengths in a very short WODs. Which means I had less like actual intense activity. So to be able to use CrossFit as my cardio for those 2 sessions was probably a bit of a stretch. So I let him know that, and he's like, okay, so let's do it again this week. We can always add another day or add, I have a Peloton and stuff like that. So I did mention to him, even though it's not happening for another 10 days or so, that I'm going to be traveling starting next Thursday through literally the end of the month. So it's about like 10 days and I'm hitting like 3 different cities. I'm pretty familiar with how to bring food on the plane and stuff like that. I'm an avid Instacart supporter, so I can definitely get things delivered. But I just wanted him to know sort of where I was going, what I was doing, and what I have access to, because I will have access to like hotel gyms and things like that, but won't be trying to drop into a CrossFit as well. And I wanted him to know that. So if we needed to plan something for those days, and he basically just said, instead of CrossFit, just try to get in 20 to 30 minutes of cardio on the days you would normally do CrossFit. So that shouldn't be an issue. Almost every hotel gym has at least a treadmill. So I'm not worried about that. He says it sounds like I have a pretty good plan and I'm pretty familiar with this stuff. So I don't know. I'm glad, like, his response makes me feel a little bit better. He doesn't seem overly concerned. I think we're just kind of trying to assess. And I have to remember that like I went from doing 2-a-days 4 times a week and then an extra single day to doing, which is 9 workouts a week, to doing 6 workouts a week with 1 each day for 6 days. So my body has to adjust to that. So he doesn't seem overly concerned, so I feel a little bit better. I was kind of beating myself up earlier because I feel I'm a bit of a perfectionist. So I feel like if things don't happen the way that we want them to, that I did something wrong. But I did everything I was supposed to do. I counted everything that went in my mouth. I drank all my water. I got my fruits. I got my, I don't think I could have done anything else except exceed maybe my activity goals, but he doesn't want me doing that. He wants me to kind of meet them so we can see what we need to adjust. So I honestly don't know what else I could have done, but I beat myself up that there must be something wrong with what I did. So I'm glad with his response because I tend to overthink. Mention that if you've watched any of these videos, you would know that. I overthink everything. So I'm just gonna do what he says. I'm gonna focus on my intensity in the gym and keeping that up and really pushing weight and reps and stuff like that, and just sort of trust that he'll figure it out, and I just have to do what he plans, and we'll deal with what the results are. But I don't know. I just kind of feel like I did something wrong, even though I don't know what else I could have done. And from what his response is, he doesn't indicate that there is anything I could have done. So we're just trying to figure out what my body's doing and what it's going to respond to. And sometimes that just takes time. So that is it. Keep you updated. All right, guys, I just left the chiropractor's office. I didn't film any of it because my teen refused to film. But I visited Grant at One Body Chiropractic. He's fantastic. I know that a lot of people can be afraid of chiropractors. They don't want to get cracked, stuff like that. Or it's, I've heard all kinds of things about it not being like real medicine and stuff like that. But let me tell you, like, I grew up with, my mom is a registered nurse. She was very much like, you see doctors, stuff like that. And that was kind of how I grew up. No one ever went to the chiropractor in my house. And then when I was in college, I was washing my hair and literally got stuck. Like just my neck clamped up and totally froze. And I tell you what, that chiropractor saved the day. I was so miserable and he released me and it was fantastic. So I was kind of a believer at that point, but I thought it was mostly like for random things like that. And as I got into CrossFit, a lot of CrossFitters use the chiropractor. We beat up our bodies a lot and demand a lot of them. And sometimes you get a little off. You got a pinch here or something there, and or even noticing a little bit of an overuse issue, and sometimes that can be due to some imbalances, or something's tight and it's pulling. So seeing the chiropractor can actually help prevent injury, if you're going on a regular basis, to make sure that, you're keeping your movement patterns in, appropriate ways, or you can address things before they become bigger things. So, I feel so much better. It was actually really good to hear. He said that I was not wrecked after, because I haven't been to him probably since March, and I just wanted to come in for a tune-up. And he said, surprisingly, for all that I've been doing, I am not wrecked. So that was actually a really good thing. But like my plantar fasciitis has been acting up a little bit, and so he worked on my feet, which felt amazing. And my foot just feels so much better right now. Like he said that there was a lot of tightness and in my underfoot and midfoot, stuff like that, like I wasn't getting the proper range of motion. So by kind of releasing those and kind of resetting them, I'm able to fall into a more normal range of motion, which should then prevent some of the aggravation for the plantar fasciitis and hopefully any discomfort. So I highly recommend it. He's super affordable, and has lots of appointment options, and just highly recommend it. Hey guys, it has been a minute. I apologize. I think it's actually been a solid week since I recorded anything. So a couple things. I think I'm just going to go back to, I don't remember if I did it at the beginning, but I think I'm going to go to weekly videos. Keeping up with these daily is becoming a stressor that I can't really afford right now. Not to mention, I don't want you guys to get burnt out on the alerts. I want you to actually watch. But I think this way I can do like a week in review and be able to like focus on the highlights, because some of the stuff is just not that interesting. So, I've also been like incredibly hyper focused. I think I said it in my last video, but like every waking moment of my time, my brain is occupied. I'm not like overly stressed or running around like a crazy person, but my brain is occupied. Like everything I'm doing is done with intention and there's like no wasted time. I'm either working out or going to work or working with my clients or cooking food or eating food or planning something. So, and then I go to bed and I do it all over again. And I've been listening to this podcast a lot and just kind of like taking everything in. So I feel better mentally, but I feel just so focused. Like I don't have room for, I don't know, crap, which I guess is a good thing, but I didn't want to leave you guys hanging if anyone's actually watching this. So the video I just, right before this, was my check-in from last Monday. From there, I had a check-in on Thursday, and my weight was kind of, it was about the same, no real changes. So coach upped my steps from 10,000 to 11,000 and decreased my food a little bit. I don't remember what was that before that, but decreased my food just a little bit. We're trying to stay on track for losing like a half a pound to a pound a week right now until we make our decision on what we're doing in September. And we don't want to lose more time. And again, my body is still adjusting to coming off of doing like 2-a-days. And even before that, I've been doing CrossFit 4 or 5 days a week, plus stuff in the afternoons or evenings a couple times a week. So like my body isn't used to backing off like this. And so it kind of needs to recalibrate. So this is just us figuring out how to work through that. And I think it just helped, like, I know unless the results that I sent him are exactly what we hope them to be, I feel like I failed. And he doesn't make me feel that way though. He actually just is like, okay, so that wasn't as effective as we wanted it to be, so we'll take away some food and increase activity, and if that doesn't work, then we'll just do something else until we figure out what's going to work for where I'm at metabolically right now. So he has been great and sort of just like, okay, so this is what we're going to do. So yeah, he increased my steps and took away just a little bit more food on Thursday. I am not having any issues with hunger whatsoever, so it hasn't been a big deal. And then I had a check-in yesterday, and from Thursday to yesterday, I had just a slight downward trend, maybe half a pound, give or take. But it was like the cue that he was looking for, and he's like, okay, so let's keep it how it is right now. Give your body a few more days with the current plan, and we'll see where your check-in is on Thursday. And he's totally aware of my travel and everything, and I'm gonna do an entire video on how I stay on track while traveling. And this is the longest trip I've been on in a long time. It's 10 days, 3 different cities. I'll explain it all in that video, and how I prepare and how I get through it and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm gonna stay on plan and hope that I don't lose any progress. You know, I'm gonna do my best not to. And yeah, I'm feeling good about this new coach. I feel good. He isn't super like hands-on fluffy, but he's also not like, he's just, I don't know, he's just calm and chill, and it kind of balances out my crazy, because I overthink everything, and I'm like, this is dumb. Like if I was my own client, what would I be telling me, you know, and stuff like that. Like it's, especially when you're brand new with someone, it's trial and error, like figuring out what works for them, what doesn't. Plus I'm in that transition period metabolically, so there's a lot of factors right now. I don't really know what else to say. I'm not sure where the time's going. Like every day is going by so fast. so fast. I'm getting ready to leave for out of town. Today's Tuesday. I leave Thursday. So I'm in the, like, and my kids are coming with for the beginning part of it. So it's getting them packed. My dog just left for vacation today, Franny Cakes. She's going on vacation with my father-in-law, which is one of her absolute favorite people in the entire world. And she's going to be on dogcation for 2 weeks. My dog vacation is better than most people. So there's that, but I don't know. I just wanted to touch base. I don't have a lot of updates except that we've been just kind of playing with my plan to figure out what my body's going to do. I'm curious how my check-in will be on Thursday. I hope that it's in the same direction. Otherwise, he's probably going to make me do more steps. So there's that. The workouts have been good though. I'm increasing my reps or my weight or both from when I started his program. So that's all good. And then when I hit week 5, which I think will be Thursday or Friday's workout, Fridays I think, the plan starts adding like supersets and stuff. So yeah, ooh, I think I have to do pictures on Thursday. I hate pictures. Maybe I'll share them with you. We'll see how I'm feeling. But at some point I will do, when we actually decide like what direction we're going, I will do like a body scan and you guys can see where I'm at and then where I end up. So I will, however, throw up here the screenshot of my weight change from last week, just with making a couple adjustments. Mostly with steps. So for those of you who thinks the steps thing is a bunch of BS, like, yes, I get it. It's not necessarily that you're taking a step. You could go on a bike and maybe have a similar outcome, but the steps are indicative of overall energy expenditure throughout the day. So that's what we're going for, is low impact adding of energy expenditure outside of workouts. So it really does make a difference. Anyway, I will be recording. I'll be posting just a 1 week video next week. And stay tuned, because if you ever have had to travel and don't know how you are gonna get through it while still maintaining, like staying on a health plan or continue losing weight, like it can be done. It really can. It just takes some preparation, some thinking, and that's about it. Like, you can do it. So that's gonna be a separate video that will be coming out. I'm gonna be recording a whole bunch of stuff the whole time I'm gone, so it probably won't come out for another 2 weeks or so. But hopefully it gives you some good tips. Otherwise, just stay tuned and I will keep you updated.